It's 4 a.m., and your alarm sounds. The room is shrouded in darkness, the world outside still asleep. The soft hum of silence is broken by that piercing sound. A signal, a call, a decision point. You promised yourself yesterday that today would be different. You would rise early, tackle your day with purpose, and take the first steps toward a better version of yourself. But as the alarm continues to ring, a familiar voice creeps in. 5 more minutes. You've earned it. It's not a big deal. Start tomorrow. This voice, comforting yet deceitful, knows exactly how to prey on your doubts. It persuades you to delay, to choose ease over effort. Yet in this moment, a choice unfolds. A choice with consequences far greater than whether you'll get out of bed. This moment is symbolic of a universal battle. It's not about waking up early or sticking to a routine. It's about honoring the promises you make to yourself. It's about consistency, discipline, and your ability to rise above the pull of comfort. As Marcus Aurelius wrote, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, 'I have to go to work,' as a human being." In this statement lies the essence of Stoic thought. The struggle to act in alignment with your values isn't just a modern problem. It's a deeply human one, timeless and universal. The Stoics saw moments like these as opportunities, tests of character that reveal the strength of your will and the clarity of your purpose. The daily struggle, a test of character. Why do we falter in these moments? Why do we so often fail to follow through on the commitments we set for ourselves? Research shows that a staggering 92% of people abandon their New Year's resolutions by February. These aren't just statistics, they're reflections of an inner struggle we all face, the conflict between comfort and growth. Comfort is easy, seductive, and familiar. It whispers promises of safety and peace, but it comes at a cost. The cost is stagnation. Growth, on the other hand, is uncomfortable. It demands effort, persistence, and a willingness to endure discomfort. The Stoics understood this dichotomy and taught that true freedom lies in choosing growth over ease. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This principle is a cornerstone of Stoicism. Obstacles are not roadblocks, but stepping stones. The moments that challenge your consistency, whether it's the temptation to skip a workout, procrastinate on a task, or hit the snooze button, are precisely the moments that shape your character. Why consistency matters. In Stoicism, consistency is not just a habit, it is a virtue. It is the disciplined practice of aligning your actions with your values regardless of circumstances. The Stoics believed that our character is not formed by grand gestures, but by small repeated actions performed with integrity. Imagine building a wall, one brick at a time. Each day, you lay another brick. Some days, the work feels tedious or insignificant. Other days, external forces like wind or rain make the process more difficult. But over time, your steady effort creates something enduring and strong. Now, consider the alternative. If you skip a day, the wall remains unfinished. If you skip several days, the foundation weakens, and you risk undoing your progress. The same principle applies to your character. Every consistent action you take strengthens your foundation. Every act of neglect weakens it. Consistency matters because it creates momentum. Each time you honor your commitments, you reinforce your identity as someone who follows through. Conversely, each time you falter, you strengthen the identity of someone who gives up easily. In the words of Epictetus, first say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do. Let us now explore 21 principles, drawn from the writings of Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus, to transform moments of hesitation into opportunities for growth and resilience. Each principle is a stepping stone on the path to mastering yourself and building the discipline to act consistently, no matter the circumstances. Principle 1. The power of control. The first step to consistency is recognizing what you can control. Epictetus taught, "Some things are up to us, and some things are not." This principle is deceptively simple, but profoundly transformative. Your actions, thoughts, and decisions are within your power. External events, such as outcomes, opinions, or circumstances, are not. Consider this. You decide to start a new habit, like journaling every morning. On some days, the words flow easily and you feel productive. On other days, you struggle to write a single coherent sentence. If your sense of accomplishment depends on how good your journaling is, you will quickly lose motivation. But if your focus is simply on the act of showing up, you'll remain consistent regardless of the results. The Stoics remind us that our energy is best spent on what we can control. When you let go of the need to control external outcomes, you free yourself from unnecessary stress. Consistency then becomes a matter of focusing on effort, not perfection. Principle 2. Embrace the challenge. Seneca wrote, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor strengthens the body." To the Stoics, challenges were not obstacles to avoid, but opportunities to grow. They understood that discomfort is an essential part of transformation. Think about the process of forging steel. The material is subjected to intense heat and pressure, but this process makes it stronger, more resilient. The same is true for us. Each time we confront a challenge, whether it's resisting the urge to quit, pushing through fatigue, or overcoming self-doubt, we become stronger. The key is to reframe discomfort. Instead of seeing it as something negative, view it as a teacher. When you feel resistance, remind yourself that this is where growth happens. As Marcus Aurelius observed, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Principle 3. Reflect and refine. Consistency is not a passive process. It requires active engagement, self-awareness, and a willingness to adapt. Marcus Aurelius practiced daily reflection, writing in his journal each night. He would ask himself, "What did I do well? What could I have done better? Where did I stray from my principles?" This practice is essential for maintaining consistency. Without regular reflection, it's easy to drift off course or fall into complacency. Reflection allows you to identify patterns, correct mistakes, and renew your commitment to your goals. Set aside time each day to evaluate your actions. Were you consistent with your values? If not, what got in the way? Use this practice not to criticize yourself, but to learn and improve. As Seneca said, "Begin at once to live, and count each separate day as a separate life." Principle 4. Process over perfection. One of the greatest barriers to consistency is the fear of imperfection. We set high standards for ourselves, and when we fall short, we lose motivation. The Stoics teach us to focus on the process, not the outcome. Epictetus advised, "Make the best use of what is in your power, and take the rest as it happens." This principle encourages us to let go of the need for immediate results. Whether you're learning a new skill, building a habit, or pursuing a goal, the important thing is to keep showing up. Imagine planting a garden. You water the seeds each day, trusting that they will grow in time. You don't dig them up to check their progress. You simply tend to them consistently. In the same way, focus on nurturing your efforts and trust that the results will come. Principle 5. Discipline, not motivation. Motivation is a fleeting emotion, easily swayed by external circumstances. Discipline, on the other hand, is a steady force, a commitment to act regardless of how you feel. Marcus Aurelius captured this idea when he wrote, "You should consider it unworthy of complaint if you are doing what you were born to do." To cultivate discipline, create routines that eliminate choice. If you decide to exercise every morning, make it non-negotiable. Over time, discipline becomes a habit and consistency becomes second nature. As the Stoics remind us, it is not enough to think or plan. we must act. Principle 6. Reframe resistance as opportunity. Resistance often feels like an enemy. It shows up as procrastination, self-doubt, or fear. But what if you could reframe it? When resistance arises, don't see it as a signal to stop. Instead, view it as a sign that you're on the right path. Resistance often appears when you're doing something meaningful, when you're stepping out of your comfort zone. For example, if you feel anxious about giving a presentation, it's because the act matters to you. Use that resistance as fuel. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this discomfort? By reframing resistance as opportunity, you transform it into a tool for growth. Principle 7. Visualize the bigger picture. One of the reasons we falter in consistency is because we lose sight of why we started. The Stoics believed in anchoring actions to a higher purpose. Marcus Aurelius advised, stop wandering about. You are not likely to read your own memoranda or the histories of the ancient Greeks and Romans. Instead, live the rest of your life, however short, as nature demands. Take a moment to reflect on your why. Why does this goal matter to you? How does it align with your values? Write it down and revisit it when resistance creeps in. When you tie your daily actions to a meaningful purpose, you create a powerful motivator that helps you push through even the toughest days. Principle 8. Neutralize the voice of excuses. The voice of resistance is cunning. It uses excuses to justify inaction. I'm too tired. I don't have enough time. I'll do it tomorrow. The Stoics believed that these excuses were a product of our desire to avoid discomfort. Epictetus warned, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. This isn't about denying rest or self-care. It's about recognizing when excuses are holding you back. When the voice of excuses appears, counter it with action. Instead of debating whether you should start, take the smallest possible step. For instance, if you don't feel like exercising, commit to just 5 minutes. Often, starting is the hardest part. Once you begin, momentum takes over. Principle 9. Break the chains of perfectionism. One of the most common barriers to consistency is perfectionism. The idea that if something isn't done perfectly, it's not worth doing at all. The Stoics had a different view. Progress, not perfection, is what matters. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You should not be disturbed unreasonably by anything, for it is not according to nature." The demand for perfection is unnatural. Life is messy, and progress rarely happens in a straight line. Instead of aiming for perfection, aim for consistency. If you're learning a new skill, allow yourself to be a beginner. Celebrate small wins, and remember that imperfection is part of the process. Principle 10. Take responsibility for your choices. Stoicism is a philosophy of action. It teaches that you are responsible for your life, not external circumstances. Epictetus said, "It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." When you take responsibility for your actions, you reclaim your power. Consistency becomes a choice, not something dictated by mood or circumstance. Ask yourself, what can I do today to move closer to my goals? Then do it, no matter how small the step. Principle 11. See failure as feedback. Failure is often misunderstood. We see it as a reflection of our inadequacy, but the Stoics saw it as a teacher. Seneca wrote, "Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end." When you stumble, view it as feedback. Did you skip a task because your expectations were too high? Did you let distractions derail your focus? Analyze the situation, identify the root cause, and adjust your approach. Failure is not the opposite of progress. It's part of the process. Principle 12. Practice the art of adaptability. Stoicism is not a rigid philosophy. It encourages flexibility and adaptability. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Be like the rock that the waves keep crashing over. It stands unmoved, and the raging of the sea falls still around it." Consistency, does not mean perfection. It means showing up, even if circumstances change. If your schedule is disrupted or your resources are limited, adapt your plan. Instead of skipping a workout because you're short on time, do a 10-minute session. Instead of abandoning your reading habit because you're tired, read 1 page instead of 10. Adaptability keeps you on the path, even when the terrain shifts. Principle 13. Align your actions with purpose. Resilience is fueled by purpose. When your actions are tied to a higher goal, setbacks feel less significant. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself of his duty as a Roman emperor and a human being. Stop wandering about. Live the rest of your life as nature demands. What is your higher purpose? Is it providing for your family, mastering your craft, or contributing to the world? When your actions are aligned with your purpose, you develop the inner strength to persevere through challenges. Use this purpose as your compass, guiding you back to consistency when you stray. Principle 14. The power of resilience in daily life. Resilience isn't just about bouncing back, it's about growing stronger with each challenge. Imagine a tree that withstands a storm. Its roots grow deeper, and its trunk becomes sturdier. The same applies to us. Each time you overcome a setback, you build your capacity to face future challenges. Resilience is also contagious. When you model perseverance, you inspire those around you. Whether it's your family, colleagues, or friends, your example can motivate others to stay consistent in their pursuits. Practical exercises to build resilience. 1. Daily journaling. At the end of each day, write down 1 challenge you faced and how you responded. Reflect on what you learned and how you can improve tomorrow. 2. Affirm your purpose. Begin each day by affirming your purpose. Write down your why and remind yourself why your goals matter. 3. Reframe setbacks. When you stumble, reframe the situation as a learning opportunity. Ask yourself, what did this teach me about my habits, priorities, or mindset? Reward. Small wins. Celebrate small victories, no matter how insignificant they seem. Each win reinforces your identity as someone who follows through. Principle 15. Use visualization to stay steady. The Stoics practiced premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. They would imagine potential challenges in advance to prepare their minds for adversity. Epictetus advised, when you are about to take some action, remind yourself what kind of action it is. Before starting your day, visualize the obstacles you might face. Imagine feeling tired, distracted, or discouraged. Then, visualize yourself overcoming these challenges. This mental rehearsal strengthens your resolve and reduces the likelihood of being caught off guard. Principle 16. Focus on the present moment. Consistency is built 1 day at a time, 1 action at a time. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Confine yourself to the present. When the road ahead feels overwhelming, bring your focus back to the present moment. Ask yourself, what can I do right now to honor my commitments? Whether it's making 1 healthy choice, completing 1 task, or taking 1 step forward, these small actions compound over time." Principle 17. Clarify your why. Purpose is the foundation of consistency. Without a clear why, even the best laid plans crumble. Epictetus urged, know first who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly. Ask yourself, why do I want to be consistent? What greater purpose will this serve? Write down your answers, whether it's becoming healthier for your family, achieving mastery in your craft, or contributing to a cause. Your purpose is your anchor. When resistance arises, revisit your why to reignite your determination. Principle 18. Integrate philosophy into action. To the Stoics, philosophy wasn't an abstract concept, but a guide for living. Seneca declared, "Philosophy teaches us to act, not to speak." Consistency requires turning knowledge into action. It's not enough to read about Stoic principles or set goals. You must embody them. For example, if you value honesty, ensure that your words and actions reflect that value in every interaction. If you value growth, embrace challenges as opportunities to strengthen your character. By integrating philosophy into your daily actions, you create a life that reflects your highest ideals. Principle 19. Treat each day as a new life. Seneca encouraged, begin at once to live and count each separate day as a separate life. This mindset shifts your perspective from long-term pressure to present-moment focus. When you view each day as a fresh start, you free yourself from the weight of past failures. Did you skip yesterday's workout? That doesn't matter. What matters is today. Consistency isn't about being perfect every day. It's about showing up again and again, regardless of what came before. Principle 20. Use momentum to your advantage. Momentum is one of the most powerful tools for consistency. When you start small and build gradually, your progress creates a sense of accomplishment that propels you forward. Marcus Aurelius noted, "Well-being is realized by small steps, but is truly no small thing." Each small victory reinforces your identity as someone who follows through. Over time, these wins compound, making it easier to sustain your efforts. Principle 21. Accept and adapt to impermanence. The Stoics frequently meditated on the impermanence of life. Marcus Aurelius reflected, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." Consistency doesn't mean rigidity. Life is unpredictable, and circumstances change. The Stoics teach us to accept impermanence with grace and adapt our actions accordingly. If an obstacle disrupts your routine, adjust rather than abandon it. For example, if you can't complete a full workout, do a shorter session. Consistency thrives on adaptability. Practical exercises for aligning with your ideals. Morning intention setting. Begin each day by setting an intention aligned with your values. Ask yourself, what is the most important thing I can do today to honor my purpose? Second, evening gratitude practice. End your day by reflecting on what you accomplished. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small. 3. Weekly review. Set aside time each week to evaluate your consistency. Identify what worked, what didn't, and how you can improve. 4. Accountability partnerships. Share your goals with a trusted friend or mentor. Regular check-ins can help you stay on track. Consistency is the bridge between intention and action, between who you are and who you want to become. By aligning your daily actions with your highest ideals, you create a life of integrity, purpose, and resilience. The Stoics remind us that consistency is not about perfection, but about persistence. It's about choosing to rise each day, regardless of yesterday's failures or today's challenges. It's about honoring your commitments to yourself, even when it's inconvenient. If this journey resonates with you, I invite you to subscribe to be Stoic. Explore the other videos on this channel, and let's continue this path of growth together. Remember, the small decisions you make today shape the person you'll become tomorrow. Stay resilient, stay purposeful, and most importantly, stay stoic.